Platinum is the ultimate currency of Warframe. You need it for Warframe slots, Archon reactors, former bundles, cosmetics and more. Let's look at 25 ways you can farm to get some Platinum. I'm the Engineer, let's solve a practical problem. I'm just going to pop this little disclaimer right here before anyone starts complaining about Platinum values. Let's get started then in no particular order. Invasions. These fleeting excursions require you to do 3 missions for one faction or another in order to claim a reward once the invasion is over. Win or lose, your faction still pays you. As it happens, a bunch of these invasions include tradable items, like parts from Wraith and Vandal weapons that other players want. Due to the larger drop table, Grineer parts are in greater demand, and thus worth more than Corpus or Infested pieces. As a little tip, the missions on invasions, other than assassination, will change every 15 minutes. So if you see a defense option, you could ignore it and come back later to see if it's now exterminate or similarly quick. Sorties. You can do them once a day, and they can get you tradable items in the form of Ayatan sculptures, Riven Mods, and once in a blue moon, the legendary Fusion Core, all of which can be traded easily enough for Platinum. On top of this, you can also get rewards that can save you Platinum, such as Archon reactors. Just look ahead as to which missions are involved, as some like Corporate Ship Defense or Ambulance Assassination take a lot longer than the others. Nightwave. Nora pops up with all kinds of challenges, enabling you to get up to 43,500 standing per week with her. That amount of progress can secure you some Nightwave creds, which can be used in a Nightwave shop to pick up, among other things, Aura mods. If you can spare the creds, basically if you no longer need Nitane and Vauban, you can sell these Aura mods to other players. At least on PC, this is more efficient cred for cred than buying Archon reactors and catalysts from the shop. Core Syndicates. This isn't so much a farm as a passive. You gain syndicate standing with your chosen syndicate, such as Arbiters or Hexes, just by gaining ordinary affinity. At the lower end, you can purchase Arcane weapon parts to sell to others, while the more reliable Platinum is in Warframe organ mods. Selecting the most desirable ones can secure you a tidy sum just by being available to trade and otherwise doing whatever you like. The open worlds present a lot of opportunities to get highly desired goodies to trade. Starting with Ostron standing, you can trade that in for Zor Arcanes and sell those on for Platinum. You may find it easier to sell a maxed Arcane rather than trying to sell them piecemeal, but that's up to you. Make sure you always check what's actually being traded on your platform, as you don't want to hold on to the junk Arcanes. On a similar vein, certain Arcanes from the Quills are also highly traded, and you can get the standing for them from either fighting Eidolons or just fighting normal sentients, such as during Archon Hunts. It's not just the plains of Eidolon that has open world money making. If you've got standing to spare with Solaris United, you can pick up some Pax Arcanes for kit guns, which again can net you some Platinum in exchange for using your daily standing. Then there's the Vox Solaris who, just like the Quills, sell Operator and Amp Arcanes. Unlike the Quills though, this standing is from Toroids and Nama Isoplas, meaning you can both farm credits and Platinum simultaneously through fighting the Profit Taker Orb, limited only by how many you can trade in per day. With the Intrati Syndicate, there's not the same arcane options for their standing, but they still have some standout options. It's easy enough to bank up standing via Mother Tokens, and then just trade in daily, and you can use that to buy Cedo sets. The whole blueprint and parts are tradable, and the Cedo is in high demand, making for a good trade. Beyond that, other items being sold can be of interest, including the Vulpifiler mod Martyr Symbiosis. Last of the proper open world syndicates, and hidden away in the Necrolisk, is the Necroloid Syndicate. People need Necromech mods after all, and not everyone wants to go through the process of earning it themselves. Trade in Oricon matrices and you can grab some mods to again fuel your trading. Other syndicates have more rewards of note too. Very flush with options are the Holdfasts. Trading in nothing more than Void Plumes you can get from easy bounties, you can purchase both Arcanes and Weapon Blueprints. All 5 of the non-circuit Incarnate weapons can be traded in blueprint form, which is especially desirable to those who don't want to go through spending standing, ranking up to get there themselves. Normal standing not your style? Why not go scanning? By scanning enemies with a Synthesis scanner and by completing Simaris hunts, you can gain a hefty chunk of Simaris standing quickly each day. While you do need to do it daily for maximum results, rather than being able to bank up tokens, the payoff comes in mods, like the rare Sentinel Precepts. Simaris also grants you access to Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, usually just used for affinity and focus farming. However, as most people drop out in the first few rounds, the later rewards can be quite valuable. Not only are you picking up Radiant Relics, but you have a small chance of getting the rarest parts of Bratton Vandal and Leighton Vandal on completing Zone 8. I've already covered in a recent video how to use Golden Instinct to farm for sculptures, former and boosters. Even if you just have Golden Instinct with you as a bonus in normal missions, that's still an avenue for extra sculptures you can sell on to other players. With sculptures spawning in roughly 1 in 7 eligible missions, that can add up fast. Speaking of features I've already done a video on, there's mod Transmutation. This requires you to have more than 1 million spare credits to properly gamble against RNG. Once you can afford it, you can get a whole host of annoying or hard to farm mods, especially stance mods, Archon Mods, and other rare yet powerful mods of various types. Arbitrations open up once you've completed every basic mission once, and gives access to a number of crucial mods for later gameplay. Rotation rewards like Adaptation, as well as shop rewards like the Galvanize mods, all can contribute to Platinum for you. The rates on this are hugely dependent on the mission, tileset, and squad composition, as that changes the speed of rotations and the drop rates of Vitus Essence. Perhaps one of the oddest trades to describe to someone who doesn't play Warframe is the trading of Liches and Sisters. It can be a tedious process getting a Lich or Sister with a desired weapon, only to discover it has no ephemera or has a low bonus. If you don't mind that grind, you can sell the good ones when converted for a tidy sum. Sell your sister to others to be killed and consign your undead frenemy to be someone else's problem. If you're far enough into Warframe, you'll get access to Veilbreaker missions with Carl. Now, while I'm sure most people doing these missions are grabbing themselves Archon shards, you do have the choice to forego the shards and instead purchase additional Archon mods. These, like most mods, can be traded to other players for a not tiny amount, all for a little side mission each week. On the topic of side incomes after quests, you'll no doubt have collected Riven Slivers here or there from Xmas units. Make sure you take these over to Paladino once you've completed the Chains of Harrow quest to secure yourself a couple Rivens a week there too. Veiled Riven prices have dropped over time, but that's no reason to leave Platinum behind. For more classical farming, you can look to some spy missions. A lot of people don't really seem to enjoy spy missions for some reason. If you do enjoy them, speeding through the right one can grab you some more tradable items. Drop rates and prices do vary, but a few rare mods can go a long way if that's what you enjoy. As an added bonus, spy missions are a unique way to level your weapons due to the large amount of objective XP. It's slower than dedicated affinity farms, but you're making platinum in the process. Similar to cracking Spy Vault, you can crack open Oricon Vaults in normal Deimos missions. These require you to bring Dragon Keys, which themselves need some Void Traces, but once you have a handful, you can speed through to pick up corrupted mods. Some are pretty forgettable, but others can be worth taking the time to trade. Earlier, I mentioned about open world syndicate standing, but what about just sheer bounties? Most open world bounties drop both desirable mods and ire, which can be exchanged for higher value relics than the normal selection you get in most missions. The drop tables do rotate around, meaning the best paying bounties are not always available, but this does mean you have a way to combine both the standing needs for daily trades, as well as earning directly from these bounty drops. You may even find that lower tier bounties can be more valuable, owing to how most people run the top tier bounties for maximum standing, deflating the item drop values there. If you're a low level player, perhaps you want something a little simpler. Nightmare missions can give you that. Available on completing an entire planet's missions, these respawn every 8 hours per planet and can give you a single run of slightly harder, slightly weirder mission. That weirdness is in modifiers such as no shields, energy drain, or even a mission time limit. You'll probably want to pick and choose only the faster missions to get the most out of your time though. Alright, big obvious one, Eidolons. They're difficult to get started with and difficult to master, with a lot of rather unforgiving mechanics if you don't really know what you're doing. Not only are they a source of sentient cores for the quills and Eidolon shards for your focus, they're also the premier source of Warframe arcanes. The drop rates on their shiniest ones are painfully low, but when you consider all the arcanes available, the values start to add up. Speed is of the essence to get the most out of the 50-minute window you get every 2.5 hours. You might expect me to then list Orphics as next option, but the rates there are frankly terrible in comparison to mostly everything. I can't recommend them, as if you're capable of handling Orphics, you're probably capable of handling Eidolons, but better. But if you enjoy Orphics, sure, why not? Relic cracking. It's a staple of Platinum generation. Get relics, run fissures, sell the loot. Relic loot can be sold by a few means. Either you can sell the parts you get directly to others, alone or in sets, or you can sell bulk amounts to someone just for the ducat values, or you can trade in the parts for ducats yourself to get goodies from Barracutia and sell them onto other players. All three are perfectly viable options. Beyond prime parts, you can also crack Requiem relics. After killing a Lich or few, you'll no doubt start building up a small collection of them to crack open and sell the Requiem mods you get inside. You may even consider buying additional Requiem relics from others, rather than picking up new ones yourself. As always for that sort of thing, check the rates before you buy. Back to simple star chart missions. Mirror Defense gives access to some arcanes both as drops and via Otak's shop with Belric and Rania crystals. This mission isn't everyone's cup of tea, which only makes it all the more lucrative if you do enjoy whizzing around picking up crystal fragments. Grab the more desirable arcanes, max rank them if you can, and it should be an easy conversion to platinum. Likewise, there's Conjunction Survival. On Steel Path, you can end up with an exciting mix of Acolytes dropping Steel Essence, Thrax dropping Lure Thrax Plasm, and all the other medley of enemies pouring through as you survive. Trade in the Plasm for the right arcanes with Archimedean Yonta to once more get goodies for trading. Next, an old but entirely viable method, Silver Grove Specters. They drop a variety of mods, some of which can be very desirable to other players, so again represent value to you. The downside is of course obtaining the plants to build the apothecs. Having Oxlers frequently equipped with Botanist in other missions can certainly help you on that though. Before I reveal the last item on this list, you should know there are yet other means and missions to farm. All of it is getting something which someone else will trade for platinum, as that's all platinum farming is. But to access the truly best exchange rate for getting platinum, get a job. This is the most indisputably effective method of making platinum on an hourly basis, even on a low income by developed country standards. The only reason you can justify picking up any other method instead is because you want it to be more fun. So whichever farm you pick, do exactly that. Make sure you're having fun. Should you ever find yourself looking at Warframe and your platinum balance, wondering what the hell you can do, the truth of the matter is, you can do almost anything. It's just a matter of doing it right. I do hope this inspires you to try out something new or discover potential platinum already waiting in your inventory. I discuss some of these methods on Twitch, so join the community over there, or check out the fuller spreadsheet for these farms on Patreon. The links for both of these are in the video description. And as always, run missions, trade platinum, and fight well, Tenno.